right? Alone, everything changes. Some might call it distorted reality, but it's exactly the place I need to be. No mom, Marie ever more distant in her midlife quest for fame. No stepfather, Scott, stern and heavy-handed. No big sister Lee, no little brother Jake. Alone, there is only the person inside. I've grown to like her better than the stuck-up husk of me. She's not quite silent, not quite straight A, not quite sanitary, not quite sane. Sometimes, to tell you the truth, even I wonder about her. Alone, there is no perfect daughter, no gifted high school junior, no Christina Georgia Snow. There is only Bree. Once innocent and sheltered, Christina has now become Bree, a rebellious, promiscuous teenager addicted to meth. Her substance abuse has transformed her. The monster, as she calls it, has taken over her once happy life. A life that now revolves around Crank, Ellen Hopkins. Should I call Brendan? Set myself up? Would I truly let him be first? Was I ready to lose the big V? Should I call Chase instead? Ask him to score for me? Would he do it if I asked? Walk a slender wire for me? Did I want to risk the honor roll status? Chance further alienating my mom? Had I lost my mind completely? Did I really want to get high? You bet I did. Chase was busy Friday night, so I did a really intelligent thing. Called Brendan for a date, and I could hardly wait for Friday. Though the voice of my virginity nagged, the lure of the monster was stronger. Besides, I could always say no, couldn't I? We told my mom and Scott we were going to dinner and a drive-in double feature, but food and movies were the last things on our minds. Not that we necessarily had the same things on our minds. We talked and joked and giggled, and it all seemed just like it should. Until it didn't anymore. It started with a kiss. Kisses segued into bites, bruises. Brendan, stop, I'll scream. He slapped his hand over my mouth. Had he done it a different way, I might have responded with excitement. Instead, I froze. Pain mushroomed into agony, and all I could do was go stiff. I laid there sobbing as he worked and sweated over me. Throbbing inside and out, I didn't move, didn't dare look him in the eye. What the hell is the matter, Bree? I stared up at the clouds, gathering into gloom shrouding the moon. My name is Christina. Brendan didn't say a word most of the way home. He drove slowly just under the limit. I watched him out of the corner of my eye. Finally, he found a few words. I will remember them forever. If I had known you'd have just laid there, I wouldn't have bothered. The game replayed over and over all night long like a cable TV horror flick. I laid in bed, memorizing every scene, every line, every plot twist. Finally, sunshine trickled through the blinds, dust danced in the beams. The house filled with the everyday footsteps, voices, coffee, perfume. Nothing new, nothing unusual, nothing except me. Northern Nevada autumns are filled with weeds, toxic high allergen garden killers, tumbleweed, rabbit brush, Russian white top. Guess how I spent that Sunday? Wound up on Clarendon. Enhanced crank, it wasn't so bad. Yank, think, tug, consider. Water, soak in. Watch Mom and Scott drive away. Bribe Jake to help. I would never tell another soul about Brendan. Direct Jake to dump the wheelbarrow. Yank, think, tug, consider. I would make love with Chase very soon. Start to come down. Disappear for a toot. Notice my stash was 2 snorts away from gone. I would make a cash withdrawal that day. Help Jake finish up. Send him to the 7-Eleven for Cokes and chips. I would call Chase while he was gone. No answer. No sweat. Okay, maybe a little sweat. If I couldn't get Crank from Chase, who could I get it from? Finally, one person came to mind. I got on my bike, pedaled over to Trent's, hoping Robin was home and in the mood. Robin, the Reno High cheerleader, showed me a whole new way to get down with the monster. I went home feeling better than I had in a long time. She forgot to mention a couple of rather important things. Like how if you exercised, your lungs fought to hold air. I huffed and puffed all the way home. Like how when you came down, your head screamed with pain and your body broke out in a panicky sweat. Like how your little brother's teasing would set you off, make you jump way off the deep end. Like how parental concern might suffocate you, might confuse you, might make you yell, "Just leave me the hell alone!" Before I met the monster, life had a certain rhythm, an easy downhill flow. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, a segue of perpetual motion. Everything in its proper place, at its proper time. But now nothing. Nothing felt right. Nothing seemed proper but getting out, getting away, getting crazy, getting high. Problem number 1. School. Problem number 2, relationships. Problem number 3, connections. Problem number 4, feeling good. The biggest problem of all. You know how riding real fast in a car or a spectacular takeoff in a jet gives you an awesome rush of adrenaline? You know how spotting an eagle cruising low over the treetops or watching a baby finally master walking makes you glow all over? You know how singing a beautiful song with dead on pitch or getting every test answer right, including the extra credit brain teaser, makes you feel like you could take on the world? You know how waking up to perfect skies, enough sunshine to warm you, but not enough to bake you, watching a silent fall of quarter-sized snowflakes gives you delicious shivers of pleasure? Somewhere on my stroll with the monster, I lost these things. I awoke the next morning, semi-refreshed. As I got myself ready for school, I made the following resolutions. 1 week to the end of the quarter, grades slipping into the gutter. I would ask for some extra credit work. I would help out more around the house, show my parents I was grateful for the many things they'd given me. I would reconnect with old friends. I would never shoot up again. I would smoke less, toot less, keep my bad habits manageable. Notice I didn't say quit them. I would go to Planned Parenthood and get on the pill. Making love with Chase was awesome, and we didn't need a baby spoiling that. The problem with resolutions is they're only as solid as the person making them. Crank is more than a drug. It's a way of life. You can turn your back, but you can never really walk away. Crank isn't any ordinary monster. It's like a giant octopus, its tentacles weaving around you, through you, squeezing you, not hard enough to kill you, but enough to keep you from reeling until you try to get away. Try and you hunger for its grasping, clutch the way its tendrils prop you up, your need intensifying. Monster will forever speak to me, and today it's called